trillion dollars that we can't even comprehend, right? Because you can't even think about that. I can't even comprehend $1 million. I mean, $1 billion. I can comprehend $1 billion. Would you rather have $1 trillion or would you rather have 10 minutes with Jesus? I would rather have $1 trillion because I feel like God left his word. He left the Bible. There's nothing that he is going to tell me probably in those 10 minutes that isn't already in his word.
It's just the quality time. I understand that. Maybe I just want to see him in person and really be like, Jesus, you're right here. I love you so much. Like, you
but I already feel like that.
Okay, that's your perspective. But for me, I'm going to take that to Jesus because I just want to get as much, tell me what
closure.
I need to do. More closeness.
Oh, I thought you were like,
closure.
I need closure.
No. Closeness, like, just to be able to be 10 minutes before my time comes, I'll take it.
But then I get what you're saying. I want to touch the hem with a garment. Hold on, y'all. I'm back. Now I'm thinking, like, I might take the 10 minutes.
Welcome back, guys, to the King Josiah TV podcast, where this show was created to educate, promote, and influence the kingdom of Jesus Christ in this world. I am your host, Josiah. And before we get started, guys, if you're new here, I need you to do me a huge favor. Go ahead and smash the subscribe button right below. If you're listening on YouTube, if you're listening audibly on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, go ahead and give me that follow button. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump into today's show.
Flexing my God and all of his authority. Practice was preaching purity, priority. Can't conform to it even if majority choose to go that way. God has been restoring me. They grilling the boy cause I won't let them George forming me. Try to put me in a box, I got off the ropes, I won't let them corner me. God has been warning me, tell his people ain't no room for lukewarming me. Order me, Lord it be, yo, will it never was mine. Like Amazon Prime, his turnaround time around prayer.
Welcome back in, guys. This is the episode 42 of the King Josiah TV podcast, guys. Thank you guys for joining me again for another week. I got a lot of things to cover today, a lot of big topics, guys. So I was going to go ahead and jump right into it. So the first thing that I want to talk about is going to be B-Simone. She just had a viral moment this week where she was talking about she would rather pick $1 trillion over Jesus, over a moment with Jesus. So she was getting her, I think, makeup done or something. And I don't know where the question came from, if it was random, but she was asked the question and her response is very interesting. So without further ado, I'm going to go and let her talk. Just a moment. We'll pull it up here.
Or what is it? $1 trillion that we can't even comprehend, right? Because you can't even think about that. I can't even comprehend $1 million. I mean, $1 billion. I can comprehend $1 million. Would you rather have $1 trillion or would you rather have 10 minutes with Jesus? I said I would rather have $1 trillion because I feel like God left his word. He left the Bible. There's nothing that he is going to tell me probably in those 10 minutes that isn't already in his word. And secondly, if you have a relationship with him, he can talk to you now. I truly believe the Holy Spirit is in me and he can talk to you. But Pharaoh's like, no, like I want to sit. You said you wanted to sit with Jesus, right? Yeah. Also, I feel like if I was really sitting face to face, excuse me, I'm stuttering because that's what I would do if I was face to face with Jesus. And I would waste my 10 minutes stuttering. Like, this is really crazy. Jesus is in front of me. So it's like at this.
I mean, I give it this. I'm going to break this down in a moment. But anybody, if you sat in front of Jesus, you'd be like flabbergasted. Anybody that's like a follower of Christ, known about Christ, you're a lover of the gospel, you would be floored. Anybody to have Jesus standing right in front of you just for 10 minutes. I mean, I don't think a lot of people can smash that into their head, sit in front of the King of Kings for just 10 minutes. I don't know if I would necessarily pick the $1 trillion, but we'll get into my opinion here in a minute.
Point, let me just go to my prayer room and pray. And I don't feel like there's going to be anything that Jesus would tell me in those 10 minutes that he hasn't left in his word.
10 minutes with Jesus can be a lifetime. You never know.
And I know when I die, I'm going to see Jesus. And I feel like
She has a point. They say a year with the Lord. I'm sorry, but what is it in the Bible? It says a year with the Lord is but 1,000 years. So time with God is not the same as it is with us. So that could amount to so much that 10 minutes, God is not condensed within the Bible. And I think that's something that a lot of people got to get away from, thinking that the only thing that God has just stopped talking since the scriptures were closed. After Jesus left, he ain't spoke, he ain't said nothing. God speaks, God talks. The Bible is just a roadmap and his word doesn't change. He has not changed, but I still believe that God is still talking. He didn't just go mute after he read the Bible.
Like, I can tap into that now. I don't need 10 minutes with Jesus. Like, I have that now. Am I explaining this right? What would y'all do? Would y'all take the trillion or would y'all do 10 minutes with Jesus? I am taking the trillion and I'm going to my prayer room. Final answer.
I mean, me personally, I'm taking time with Jesus. I'm taking that 10 minutes. So the reason why I would say I would take the 10 minutes, and I think that as believers, this poses a good question, and it poses where our brains are at and our minds are at pertaining to God and pertaining to his value. So just honestly, it speaks to Job 22 and 25 that turns wealth on its head. So any amount of wealth that we can get on this in this world, the Almighty will be your gold and your choice of silver for you. The verse ignites the hearts to exchange more currency for communication with God, discovering true treasure that never fluctuates. So what we get from God, it doesn't fluctuate, it doesn't change. What you can get from God in 10 minutes, $1 trillion, $1 million, whatever life security that you think that you'll never be able to obtain will never amount to that. That's why there's nothing in this world that could supersede what a moment with God would be like. And so I'm going to go and speed forward just a little bit because her friend or makeup artist starts talking and they start interjecting some things that are like right on point that really make you think.
I can already talk to Jesus now through prayer, through.
But here's how I'm looking at it, right? My perspective.
Okay, come tell your perspective.
So my perspective of why I would want 10 minutes with Jesus, because it could turn into anything. He can educate you, he can give you more knowledge, but for me, like, yes, I am in my prayer corner, and yes, but sometimes he might be able to give you the answer or whatever it is that you're looking for in that 10 minutes. But to have 10 minutes with Jesus,
I don't feel like Jesus is going to say anything that he already hasn't
it's just
left
the
in his
quality
word.
time. I understand that. Maybe I just want to see him in person and really like, Jesus, you're right here. I love you so much. Like, you
But
might
I already
not
feel like that.
Okay, that's your perspective. But for me, I'm gonna take that 10 minutes with Jesus because I just want to get as much tell
She
me
said
what
closure.
I need to do.
I need
Closeness, more closeness.
Oh, I thought you were
not
like, I need
closure.
closure.
No. Closeness, like just to be able to be 10 minutes before my time comes, I'll take it.
Or what he might tell you in those 10 minutes, are you genuinely ready for that? Like,
Why not?
Ooh. But I'm saying that what he's gonna tell you in prayer, are you genuinely ready for that? I don't know. What do y'all?
And again, it just kind of goes back to me for the value that you can get from God. Just presence with the Lord, a minute with the Lord is so precious. And that's again when we have to separate being in this world and being attached to things and products and how what we consume. We're so concerned and wrapped around that if someone gives us, okay, Jesus, the most important and most valuable thing that you can ever have in this world, we're saying, okay, no, God, I talk to you every day in prayer. I'm gonna take this $1 trillion when God is the source of everything. God can give you that and then some. So why not go to the source that can give you that $1 trillion, that can give you that ability to make that, get in touch with that, whatever the case may be? Why would you supersede that with trying to get something material that will never last forever? I think again, this just really goes back to that verse in Job that I thought spoke to everything that B-Simone is saying. Job 22 and 25. The text treats God himself, not something that he just gives. He's being the most important asset. That's what Job is talking about. It's talking that God is the most important asset that you can ever have. Gold and silver, they symbolize security, influence, and pleasure, guys, things in this world. Scripture declares that all these longing accumulate to the Lord. That all these longings and all these things that we want, which security, influence, and pleasure, all those things we get from God. All those things in 10 minutes with God can supply to you and that much more. Why not go to the source? Why not spend 10 minutes with the source than the opposite? And I think that, and I'm not nothing to bash B-Simone here, anything like that, but I think this really kind of sets up for our value system. What do we value? What is most important in our life? Are we looking for temporary gain? Are we looking for what we can get and what can make our life more secure? Do we have more value in that? Are we saying, God, no, I'm willing to give up everything When the rich man came up to him and he said, God, what do I got to do to follow after you? He said, what do I need to do more? He said, give up all your worldly possessions and follow me. And he looked back at him and was like, that's too much. And that's the thing. God says, give up everything. God says, you have to, the man that loses his life will gain his life. And the man that tries to keep his life will lose it. And I think that really speaks to this is that when B-Simone makes that decision and says this, and I believe a lot of believers would make this decision, is that in that context, you are trying to save your life. Saving your life with security financially, trying to secure your life pertaining to what you can obtain and what you're able to offer to other people, because money supplies all those things. You were trying to, at that point, take the steering wheel of your life, and God should always have the steering wheel of our life. We should not be trying to navigate and drive the ship on our own. And I just want to kind of, I feel like some of the verses that illuminate this, why God surpasses gold. He's eternal. Wealth is temporary. Psalms 102 and 27 speaks to this. His character is flawless and riches are corrupt. This comes from Timothy 6:9-10. We have another verse here in Philippians 14 and 19 and Proverbs 11 and 4. He supplies every need. Money eventually fails. Money is not everything. Relationships with him cannot be stolen, taxed, or lost. And that's from Matthew 16:19-20. Guys, there's just so much guys pertaining to this, that this is definitely an interesting conversation, definitely something that, I think sparks a lot of talk. And I think this should be a heart check, like an engine check, pertaining to your faith. I'm gonna let them speak just for a couple more moments, and then we're gonna move on.
10 minutes with Jesus or the $1 trillion, and why? And then also it's like, am I taking the 10 minutes to see if my faith is real? I want to have faith without seeing Jesus. I feel like the 10 minutes also, not a cop out, but it's like, all right, let me see 10 minutes with Jesus. Yeah, let me see if he's real. Or let me see if what I believe in is like, it's like testing your faith. So I don't know. I just need y'all to comment. What would you do?
Imagine all those people back in the day who did get to experience Jesus,
Man.
and then they have that forever. So that's my perspective on it. Like, they have that experience.
But what's crazy is the people back in the day experienced Jesus and still didn't believe.
And that's the thing. That's what in the Bible talks about, that some people will have touched Jesus, been around Jesus, and still didn't believe him. So what does it make it more that you can see him? People will deny Jesus all day long, will deny God all day. If he stand right in front of their face and they see every work and wonder, they will walk away from him. Because I always believe, again, people that don't believe in God, or people that try not to serve God, it's not a facts issue, it's not the intellectual issue or a knowing issue, it's a heart issue. And so, I do believe, that when she's saying this, I think that at the end of the day, it's not necessarily checking whether or not your faith is real or not. But again, I think it goes back to what I was saying. This is like an engine check. Okay, what do you value more? Monetary things that are going to fleet and go away? Or do you value God more? Do you value that precious moment with the Lord? A moment with the Lord is precious. You know what I mean? The Psalms talks about that, about just being in his presence and being in his gates, and just having that moment with the Lord is the most precious thing. And I think a lot of times, because of the world we live in, we have our cell phones, our jobs, our kids, husband, wife, all these things going on, that we get so distracted that we don't even value our prayer life. We don't even value the time that we get with God, because we just got everything, our brains going in 50 billion different directions. So we lose what's truly valuable is that time with God, which is the most important.
Yeah.
Like, even them experiencing him firsthand, there were still doubters. They were still not listening to him.
True.
They were still doing everything that people are doing now that haven't seen him. Like, I don't even think seeing him is enough. If you don't have the faith or the belief, you just don't have it.
Yeah.
Like, seeing him isn't enough.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and end that one there. I think that, again, this poses some deep thought and some deep questioning, that I think that a lot of times this needs to be an engine check for Christians. This should be something that you should pose the same question to yourself. If you're sitting here watching this video, think about why would I pick money over God? Well, all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap up today's podcast. This is episode 42 of the King Josiah TV podcast, guys. I know we talked about a lot of controversial subjects today, things that may start arguments and disagreements. Guys, if you've got your take on this, you've got a different perspective, I want you to drop it in the comments. I want you to talk to me, argue back with me. I don't mind the conversation. Guys, again, if you're listening on YouTube, go ahead and smash the subscribe button. If you haven't liked the video already, give me a like. If you're listening audibly on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, go ahead and give me that follow button. We'll see you guys next week.
But my salvation on me like it's a helmet. The way you to sin is death for send you to hell quick. Wanted to be all about me, God, I was selfish. I was rebellious.